Even though I think in my heart of hearts that this day was coming, I was hoping I would never have to have this conversation with you here on 99.9 The Fan. North Carolina football, they've revealed that the NCAA has denied the waiver of Tez Walker. He will be ineligible to play this year. It's a shame. Breaking news, call it broken news. Mac Brown, upset. Bubba Cunningham, upset. As they should be. Tez Brown, I'm sure, upset. Drake May and Tez Walker's teammates, upset. I'll read a statement in part from Mac Brown. This shows you how upset they are. We're absolutely crushed to learn that Tez Walker's eligibility has been denied for this season and he won't be able to play. I don't know that I've ever been more disappointed in a person, a group of people, or an institution than I am with the NCAA right now. Goes on to say paragraphs more, but I want to add just to the end here. I want to read a statement from UNC head football coach Mac Brown, which, by the way, statement this is from the at UNC football handle, like they spelled statement statement. That just, I think they were typing with fists.
Yeah, angry.
They were typing with fists, and they were, you know what we meant.
Hammering that keyboard.
You want to be the one to go tell Mac Brown something spelled wrong? I'm not right now. The end of the statement reads this: despite his setback, Tez's future remains bright and will continue to do everything we can to help him fulfill all of his dreams. Shame on you, NCAA. Shame on you. Now, we could go down the path we've gone down so many times before on all of the reasons why Tez Walker should be allowed to play, but I think this is actually done well in the statement from Bubba Cunningham, the Carolina director of athletics. He reiterates some key points. The COVID-19 pandemic caused the NC Central football season to be canceled twice, and Tez never played there. Both of his previous schools support Tez's immediate eligibility because of his unique circumstances. UNC and Kent State have provided overwhelming evidence detailing his mental health needs. Tez is a Dean's List student on schedule to graduate in December of 2024. He does not need his clock extended. Transfer waiver requirements were restricted after Tez established his residency at UNC. Tez has only played football at one school and should be allowed to be immediately eligible. Those are just some key points. We've talked about them. You know them. I know them. We all know them. It's time to stop talking about the reasons why he should be eligible and start talking about the ramifications that the NCAA is not observing and probably hasn't even realized they just caused with this decision. It doesn't take a long connecting of the dots or skipping from this point to some far-off point to recognize how this might severely negative impact Tez Walker. Let's just say this. You've now stopped him from playing with Drake May. If Drake May turns pro after this year, like everyone expects, Tez Walker may never get to play with him. Guess what? Playing with Drake May, maybe Tez looks like he's an NFL player. Maybe that turns him into a draft pick. Maybe it turns him into a high draft pick. Now, because you've robbed him of the opportunity to play, despite everything I just said, maybe he's not a draft pick next year. Maybe you just literally took life-changing money out of his pocket, let alone the experience, right? College football is supposed to be about something that you enjoy. You learn lessons. You have the opportunity to play in front of thousands that wear your colors and the alma mater and all these sorts of things. You've taken that from him this year. Why? To discourage multiple-time transfers of other kids to looking up at this? Why? Because you're skeptical of how much this move was motivated by the mental health related to a sick relative? You're going to look at somebody who is telling you that part of this move was processed, was motivated by the need to move closer to a family member, and you're going to say, we don't believe you enough? You're going to get by on some technicality, robbing the dreams of a young person, and you are the NCAA. You are, at least, you try to sell the dream that you're there to serve the student athletes. You're at least there to sell the dream that the best interests of the individuals are the thing that you prioritize the most. That's what we're doing here. I don't even know. Like, it doesn't make you more money. I don't know what the motivation is to stop this other than to say, oh, you want to discourage transfers in the future. Well, I watched Colorado over the weekend with 86 new names, 45-plus transfers. I watched every game had a different transfer that started here, played there, went there, and somehow this is the one you want to dig your heels on. There are transfers that, like, it's not even arguable. Fourth school. Fourth. Played football on the field for all of them. Tez, he didn't play on the field for anybody but Kent State. There's an NC State wide receiver, and I'm not trying to make this Carolina versus State. There's an NC State wide receiver in his 8th year of college football. 8th. The NCAA had to sign off on that at some point in time, didn't they? And they should have. I'm not saying Rosner shouldn't be eligible for NC State. I'm saying Tez Walker should be eligible for UNC. This is not like you're messing with something abstract. You're messing with people's lives. Wide receiver coaches are judged by how well their wide receivers play. You take away the best wide receiver, you may have just altered someone's career. Let alone like the more important stuff we've highlighted throughout this process, the mental health aspects of college athletes, the unfairness of the timing we've illustrated, the lack of awareness, the lack of prioritizing the best interests of the student. You can't make an argument that this is what's best for Tez Walker. I have not seen a good one yet, and I will not see a good one because it doesn't exist. If your interests are what's best for the student athlete, as you just heard me describe, he's a Dean's List student on track to graduate on time. Student athlete. He's taking care of the student. Are you taking care of the athlete? I almost keep waiting for some piece of like critical information that we haven't been made aware of to become public. And then me to go, oh, that's why the NCAA isn't letting him play. It hasn't come out yet, and it's done now, right? The Tez Walker was allowed to talk to the NCAA about his eligibility today, and they denied his waiver. There's no more information to come out. And I've yet to see the good piece, the aha moment where, oh, that's why. That's the thing they're trying to discourage. If you're trying to discourage transfers, that's fine. But it seems like you're only trying to discourage one transfer out of the thousands that we've seen this year. I mean, look at the stats. The Athletic did a great article a couple months ago on the likelihood, they looked at the numbers, the likelihood of a quarterback that commits to a school and arrives on campus to finish his career there, and it's well over 50%, they're going to transfer. If you're against that, fine. But how'd you pick Tez Walker as the guy to make an example of? Right? The guy who committed to one place, had his knee blow out, then had to not transfer that, and let's get our wording right, had to pivot to go to NC Central where they canceled football. So then he had to pivot and go to Kent State where he turned himself into a stud, where he turned himself into a highly coveted transfer, and then he moved closer to home, and that's the guy who you're gonna single out. Cool. Sounds good. Of all the prospects out there that lost their job, right? They were a starter. They got beat out by a younger player. They wanted to transfer. You don't want to make an example of them. You wanted to make an example of the guy that turned himself into a more valuable prospect on the market, went to a bigger school to be closer to home, to play in front of his grandma, who, by the way, the first time his grandma was going to have the opportunity to see him play in person was in Charlotte week 1, and she was there to watch him high-five his teammates. She never went to Kent State, couldn't watch those games, but she was in Charlotte. That was all a ruse? That's what you're skeptical of? It's disgusting. The NCAA never ceases to amaze me. I don't know what the plan is there.
I actually just had I agree 100% with everything you just said. By the way, I actually had a couple listeners call in. One a Duke fan, one an NC State fan saying the NCAA was wrong and that this young man should be able to play. Not too often we see schools in the triangle unify, but in this case, where I'm actually hearing it from fans saying like, yeah, this guy should be allowed to play.
And it is one of those things where, like humans, right? It's what jersey do you wear? Are you a human? That's two different deals there. Like, I believe in the importance of sports. I believe in the importance. I like a lot of the good qualities that I see in myself, professionally, personally. I think I learned playing college football. The adversity, the teamwork, all of those sorts of things. The highs, the lows. You're taking that away from a guy because he wanted to leave Kent State. You wanted to handcuff him to Kent State. I don't get it. I just don't get it.